Alright, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Drone Pilot Moonshine. We're going to do some corn liquor. It's winter time, figured I'd do it. I've never done a corn, honestly. I've always done fruits and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do a corn. I got a bag of cracked corn from the local feed store. I'm going to do 7 pounds of sugar. And I picked this up at the big box store. They had a 2-pound thing of dry yeast, so pick that up. I got about 5 gallons of water in there. You guys can't see the tub. I'll have to switch you around here. Let's take a look here. So I've got the barrel down there that I'll be firing up here in a minute, and then those jars back there, I'm gonna fill up 2 of those. Those are the ones in the back. Those are, I think they're 7.5 gallon carboys on that. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll mix this up. Let me go ahead, and I've got, like I say, 10 pounds of corn, 7 pounds of sugar, and then I've got my yeast. And we'll see how it goes. I've got a couple aquarium heaters to keep it, because it is winter time, keep the jars warm. So I had one, I had to go purchase another one. So I got each, because last time I did it, I kept moving from one carboy to the other. One would cool off, the other would warm up, and then the next day I'd do it again. And I was going back and forth, and so I just went down and bought another one so I can keep them both at a steady temperature during the winter. But like I say, I was really happy with this corn. On the picture, I'd never bought this cracked corn before. It showed whole kernels in there, and I mean, this is broken up really good. I was worried I was going to have to mill it, which I don't have a mill, so it didn't. That's what I was worried about. But this is very well broken up. I'm happy with this cracked corn I got. So we're going to go ahead. Let me set this up and get the water hot and come back. All right, I got the pot set up. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Get hot. Get this going. Flame that out. There we go. That's meat going there. That fired right up, didn't it? All right. So go ahead and let that cook for a little bit. Get it hot, and then I'll add the corn once we get up to about 190 degrees or so. All right, hang on. All right, I got the water up to 190. I got it down to a simmer. Let's go ahead and put this in here. And get this. Where's my spoon? Let's stir that. So we'll keep it at 190 for about an hour and a half. Cook all the starches. We want to get all the starches out of there. And then after that, what I'll do is I'll add some, I bought some, instead of, you can either buy some like malted barley or malted anything. That all has the enzymes, amylase, to convert the starches to sugar, but I just bought some enzymes, and I'll show you that later when I add it to it. But you want to cook this for about 90 minutes. So keep stirring it. I got it down to a simmer, so we'll let it sit here on that. And looks like a lot of it sunk down, which is good. A lot of times the floaties, they don't have any sugar in them, and you can just get rid of those. But it looks like everything is sunk down. Let me show you guys. Well, it's all foamed up on me, so that's okay, but you know, I just want to make sure I got it down to a low roar. We'll put a cap on it. Pretty sure I got enough water in here I put 5 gallons, so I figure 5 gallons in the corn will probably fit in a 7-gallon. If I mismeasured, I'll just pour whatever excess into the other one, because I'm making 2 of those carboys full of corn mash. So yeah, once this cooks all the starch out, then we'll go ahead and add the amylase to it and go from there. So let me go ahead and put the lid on this and keep cooking. So there it is in the pot. Let's see what the temperature is. Get that in there and take a minute. Yeah, it's bubbling, but it takes a minute to get up there, doesn't it, on that? But could turn up the heat a little bit, maybe. Maybe I turned it down too much. Yeah, let's turn that heat up. All right, let me turn it up. All right, welcome back. I just wanted to kind of show you where we're at and how thick it's getting. It's been about a half hour, so let's change it. And as you can see, it's gotten pretty thick on that. I did turn down the heat. I had it at a really low temperature, yeah, and it started boiling, so I don't want to scorch this. Oops, sorry. Get you guys back in line. Not paying attention to what I'm doing here. So I don't want to scorch this. It's a little above, it's about 200 degrees. I stuck the thermostat in there. So we'll let it cool down a little bit. And then, and like I say, it's only been a half hour, so we'll let it cook for a little while longer. I'll put a lid on it. But it is thickening up. Now the enzymes that I got, which are in here, I got these. So you don't want to put those in anything above, from what I understand, 140 degrees. So we'll get these cooked off, and then and you can see how thick it is. And then we'll, like I say, it'll be another hour or so, but I just wanted to show you the progress we're doing here. See how thick that is? So it's been about an hour and a half. And as you can see, it's basically a corn chowder. It's good and thick. There's a lot of starches in there. So I just did a temperature check. It's still like 190. I mean, it's temperature's still up there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the sugar in, and then we'll let it cool down. Hang on a second. All right. So I got 7 pounds. It's probably a little over 7 pounds, so up to here in sugar. So let's put this in, and we'll mix this, get it. Well, it'll be good and thick now. Let's stir that in. I don't know if you can see me. My head's probably out of the shot, so that'll melt the sugar. That all. And it's still, like I say, it's still too hot to put the amylase in. Yeah, but we can get the sugar in and get that melted down on here. And once the temperature comes down a little more, be interesting. I got this thing up to here. Hope it'll fit in one of those carboys. If not, I'll just put less water. I'll put whatever's left over in the next one, and then add less water. Yeah, I did pretty good on the, I kept stirring it about every 15 minutes. So I didn't get a lot of clumping, which is nice. Alright, now we'll let that cool down. Sugar definitely melted. You guys want to see this? See if I can do this without dropping you in. I kind of got you on my tripod, so oops, where's the, there it is. So that's with the sugar and everything, so we just need to wait for it to cool down and we will be good to go. All right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, so it's cooled down a little bit. I'm going to show you guys. So about 150 degrees, boy, it's really, I'll let it cool down. But it's good and thick. Also, I showed you guys I added the sugar. So let's add this enzymes. See if we can liquefy this thing a little bit. I know I opened this bag. All right, hang on. And it says 1 to 3 tablespoons per gallon. So let's add this in there. 2, 3. 4. 6. All right, there we go. There's 7. Let's see what that does for us. Let's put that up there. Let's stir this, see if that breaks it up a little bit. Yeah, it did. It's not as thick. I think we need a couple more on that, but yeah, it broke it up. I don't know if you guys can notice on camera, but I can tell just by stirring that it's not as thick as it was. Boy, it stuck to the sides, cooled down. I suppose that's starch. Get that all. I'm going to put a couple more in that. That should be 10 tablespoons, and I got 5 gallons of water in here. And if it's 1 to 3 per gallon, figure at the max it's 15 tablespoons. But it definitely loosened that up. I can see that. So stir that around, get that going. But oop. Sweet. Definitely sweet. Definitely needs to be stirred. All right. Let's see. So I got one more of these to make. I don't know. I got time to. An hour. Should be able to make another one. Here, let me see. Well, I gotta let this cool before I put it in those glass containers. It's still a lot. But you can see it definitely broke all those starches down. Because you can see how it was very thick. Okay, where's my sensor light is now, but that is definitely liquefying again, which is nice to see. I wonder if I shouldn't put some more in. I do have another pot. I could always set this pot aside. Start the other one. Maybe that's a better thing to do. But that is, all right, let me put you guys, go ahead and turn you guys off. But that definitely liquefied it. It was getting thick. Hopefully I got that shot. You guys seen that? It loosened it up some. Okay. All right, welcome back. We got the second pot. Got the first pot right there. I'm about to pour the corn in the next pot. We'll just leave because that's going to have to cool pretty much overnight. So let's get the second part started. I figured I'd at least show you the brief. Let's just pour that all in there. It's another 10 pounds, and then I got sugar. So we'll get that mixed in. And that up to temperature and let it down. So, and then I've got another, I refilled 7 pounds of, it's about 7 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds of sugar. So we'll do the same thing, and I'll just give you the highlights on the second one here. So, all right, there we go. Stir it up pretty good. Let me turn down the heat. Scorch this stuff. Then we'll just keep stirring it. All right, let me pause you guys. All right, we're pretty well warmed up. It's, let's see, let me get this. As you can see, it's gotten pretty thick. It's like porridge almost. So let me go ahead, turn off the gas, and let's add the sugar. It's too hot to put any enzymes in, but at least we can melt the sugars in there. Get that mixed in. Let's just pour that in there. Get it in there. And then I'll go ahead and just let this, yeah, man. Oh well, what are you gonna do, right? I probably should pour that in a little at a time, but that's okay. We'll get it all mixed in slowly. Stir that. There we go. And we'll let it sit. We have to let it sit for an hour or so to cool off before the enzymes can be added in. You guys want to see? So, added the enzymes to this one. Bring you over there. Make sure I'm not dropping you. Okay. Since you're on the tripod. As you can see on that one, right there. Oops. If I can see with you. There. So we got more liquid there. This one, see, it's all sunk to the bottom. So that's a good juice, and then this one will have to cool. So that enzyme makes a difference. So, all right, let me let this cool, and then we'll put in the enzymes. All right, welcome back. The next morning, this cooled off. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in. And see how it goes. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This could be, all right. Be interesting. See. Going in there. I clogged it up. That's okay. I got a screwdriver or something right here. All right, hang on a second. It'll drain out of that corn, won't it? All right, we're back. I had a feeling that would clog up, but I was afraid I was going to spill more than I was worried about. But all right, let's get back to this. We'll just pour this in here. All right, that's a bad idea. I can see that. So neither one's a good idea. That's still warm. All right, let's get the funnel back in there. And I have to, because it just definitely made a mess. So this is going to be a little. I've already. All right. So we'll just unclog this as we go. And I just got a little poker here. One more time. Spilling too much. All right. I'm gonna have to figure a better way to do this. Hang on. All right, so what I'm going to do, what I've decided, I'm going to go ahead and use my separating bag. This is just a thing I bought at the hardware store. It's a paint. Should probably get a new one pretty soon. It's some sort of paint filter thing you run paint through, and it works fine for this. There are brew bags out there, but this thing's held up pretty good, so let's use this. And I'm just going to separate the corn. You guys see that? I definitely made a mess. All right. So that's going to have to sit for a little while. There's definitely some liquid coming out of there, isn't there? There we go. What I need is like a rack or something to. Yeah, that's going to. Take a little bit, but I got that. So let me put this over here. All right, let me pause you guys. This is going to take some time, but you got the gist of it. Hang on. All right, so what I ended up, I showed you. So put the bag in the 5-gallon bucket and just strained it out of there. And now I just got this. It's just draining into here on that, but that's how much mash so we need to add some water to it. And I already added the sugar and everything, and boy did we, because I can feel it all over my hands. But I wanted to show you what liquid we got out of here. Still got the other pot to do, and I think I'll just do the same thing, and then we'll boil some water to add into both of these, and let it cool down on that, because I'm just using tap water, so I want to boil the chlorine and everything out of it and let it cool down and then put it back in. And definitely got sugar in there. All right, I'm just showing you that. All right, we got one more bucket here. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Let's do this again. Everything is sticky. Sticky, sticky. All right. I think that's the easiest way to do this. It's just put it in the bag and then let's see. Boy, this is gonna be close. You know, and I actually put less water in this pot. So, but well, okay. There we go. Surprised this bag's holding up. Nope, I'm gonna keep it all in the bucket for spilling. It's still raining. It's raining. All right, get you guys. So that's pretty much, then we'll get this into the other glass jar, and then we'll boil a little more water. All right, let me pause you guys. All right, so back, got what's in the bucket. Let me pour in the bucket. Got the corn just sitting there draining into that other pot, which I'll throw some water in and do it. But let's see, show you what we got here with the bucket. See if we can get this in without making too big of a mess again. There we go. Well, I rinsed the corn on that other one, but that's what we got. So we'll definitely add some water to it. Normally, what I should have did, oh well, is probably just boiled the corn like you're supposed to, and then get them in the jars and then heat up the sugar and melt the sugar and add that in. But that's okay. It works both ways on there. And let me go ahead and heat some water up and top these things off. All right, let me show you what we got. Let's see if I can get you on the camera. So we ended up with two. Oop, can't get both of them in there, can I, like that? So two of them. And I just can't do it on this tripod. There we go. So I got those two, and then I got this water in here, and we're gonna light this off and then go ahead and do it. Let's see. See if I can burn my mustache. Lighten this thing. All right, got this tight. Turn this on. All right, that's on. And let's. Let that close for now. There we go. That wasn't too bad. We'll go ahead and boil that. And then let it cool and all that. Some corn, and I think I'll just add it in the bag, get it boiled, but I won't boil the bag in there. And then that'll be our rest of our flavoring. All right, so, and then all I got to do is add the yeast. All right, well, let me go ahead, get this hot, and then we'll add the yeast in a little bit. Definitely subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll keep posting videos. All right, you moonshiners, welcome back to the channel. I've got my corn mash set up here, and we got our yeast. What did we do? The spoon. So let me go ahead and put some yeast to it. No, I guess it wouldn't hurt to. Let's see what temperature it is. But either way, I'm going to go ahead. So after I put the yeast in, I got these, and this was a tip from a guy when I was doing it last winter. These aquarium heaters. Put these in. It's because it's like 50 degrees out here, and my last year tried it during the winter, and of course the mash kept stalling. So yeah, one of the subscribers, thank you very much, recommended doing aquarium heaters. So that's what we're doing today with the aquarium heaters. Let's see what the temperature is out here. Mash, put the yeast in. So it's at 81 and climbing, 82, 82.4. So it's perfect. It's perfect temperature, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this yeast in here. Let's see, is this a 1 tablespoon. We'll do a tablespoon in each of them. And this is, I seen a 2-pound pack at the big box store, so I picked it up. So this is just cooking yeast or bread yeast, whatever. I didn't have the distillers. Boy, that's a lot of yeast. Oh well. On there, oops. We'll definitely got more than we needed. That's okay. A brand new 10-pound pack here. So let me stir that in, and then what I'll do, I'll go ahead and put these in, plug it in, and they'll just sit on the side, and the cap and hold it in there. And that's it for our corn mash. In 2 weeks we'll have some corn whiskey here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and tune in for when I distill this later on. Well, it'll be after the new year, so because it's a week before Christmas now. So thank you very much for watching, and Drone Pilot Moonshine.